years ago. And we have celebrated that, and we will continue, and we'll have a bigger celebration come on July the 1st, interring the remains of the unknown soldier. That is a commemoration. Many of you who sit here this morning and who are watching on their screens, you probably have in your possession right now today something that is commemorating something significant in your life. It may be a little trinket, it may be a watch, it may be a necklace, it may be some sort of identification that is a commemoration. Some of you may sport tattoos, a commemoration of someone who was very important in your life and they may have passed away. If not on your person, probably within your home, you have a commemoration of that individual or that act and how it has affected you in impacting ways. Today, we have set before us this commemoration for us to remember, what's his name? What's his name? Jesus. We are called to remember Jesus in a profound and impacting way. Not just a loved one who has passed on, but who is still intimately involved in your life and in my life this very hour. We are to commemorate, to honor, respect, pay homage to him, and not to suffer from amnesia. Why we gather and do what we're called to do. And so the first part Jesus draws to our attention is the act of commemoration. But the second point I want you to see in this celebration this morning, it also calls us to examination. You and I, we are to be examining ourselves at this table this morning. Now, the apostle, as he writes, he says in that 28th verse, a man ought to examine himself. Now, I remind you that it's not just the men, it's the ladies as well. There is a self-examination called for as we partake of this table. Now, what kind of examination are you looking at? It's a self-examination of your heart. Now, if every one of us are honest, and if we do the kind of examination in our heart that the Spirit of God wants us to look in and to see if there is any unrighteousness within our hearts, either in mind, thought, or deed, in act, in any way, shape, or form, and then we are asked to partake of the table, I ask you, how many would really come to take these emblems? Every one of us, I suspect, would stay in our seat and say, I'm not worthy. I am not worthy to go to this table and to take these emblems to my lips, based on my examination of how many times I have failed the Lord in some way this past week. I think if we were honest, we'd say, I don't deserve to walk that aisle and come to that table and to take those emblems. And you're right, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. That word examination is a rather interesting Greek word. It's dokinedsmo. And it means to try, to scrutinize, to prove or approve what you believe. To try, to prove, to approve, and to scrutinize your faith. And so in a few moments, I'm going to ask us to bow in reverential silence, and I'm going to ask you to let the Spirit of God examine your heart. And to call the Spirit of God to say, okay, God, where is it that you need to do some house cleaning in my life as a man, as a young person, as a lady? Examine my heart before I respond to this invitation to come and to take these emblems. Cook, maybe you should sit down before you go any further, because you know how you have failed the Lord in ways as a husband, as a dad, as a man. Self-examination spiritually goes with partaking in this table. But I got good news. We don't stop with the self-examination and therefore disqualify ourselves. we don't stop there. The Spirit of God says, no. Don't just bring condemnation to your heart, because I know your want to. God knows your want to. He knows your want to. And your want to is, God, I don't want to be the same person that I just have examined. I want to be one that's going to bring honor to you. I want to be one who's going to glorify you. I want to be a person that his life or her life is going to change by the power of God. I don't want to be that person, God. And God knows your want to. How is your heart to say? How is your heart? You see, that's the real test. It's what Christ has done for us. He's washed our sins away. Our self-examination may lead us to believe, God, I'm failing this. I'm failing this test. But God says, but I know what your desire is, and that's to worship, and that's to serve me and to honor me. And so don't beat yourself up to the point of exclusion from this table. Don't let the father of lies exclude you from receiving this gift this morning. Partake and know his forgiveness. Receive his love, because he knows your want to, that you want to serve him. So you got commemoration, you've got examination, but don't stop with the examination and thinking, I can't go up there. The third point that we see involved in this table this morning, and I love this, we have proclamation. We have proclamation. Because we're told here in these passages that he says, I love what he says in verse 26, for whenever you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. You proclaim, you make a proclamation. Simply by coming and receiving, there is a proclamation that you are making by receiving these emblems. Proclamation in two ways. The first way is that you testify by participating. You make a proclamation just simply by participating in these. Oh, you can remain seated. You can remain seated and love the Lord and know all of his grace and power, but simply by coming and receiving the emblems, you are proclaiming and you testify by participating. Now, our job is not to examine who's coming and receiving and who isn't. That's not our job. But you're letting a community know that I'm coming and I'm taking part. I'm not worthy, but by God's grace, he has saved me. By God's grace and his blood, he has cleansed me, and I've got a new heart and a new life, and I want to serve him. Yes, I've fallen, but God, I'm participating in this table today. So you testify by participating in this table here today. But secondly, you glorify by making acclamation. You acclaim. Leave this table here this morning. Tell somebody on the way out of this community that I'm glad that I'm a child of God. I've been born by the Spirit of God. And I live a new life in Jesus Christ. And I leave this church knowing his forgiveness, knowing a cleansing, knowing his redemption. And I want to serve him better this coming week. And you make that an acclamation that will fall from your lips today. Don't ask the score of the hockey game. Don't ask the score of whatever sports or whatever activity that you may have been involved in. But make a proclamation to someone in this church here today as you leave, that you will glorify him with those words, that Jesus is my Lord and my Savior. And you will find that you will receive a blessing from him as you make that proclamation. And then go out into the world and tell someone in shopping or arenas or places of institution or work, you glorify him by making that proclamation with your mouth as well, in your actions, that Jesus is your Lord. As it says in Philippians, every knee shall bow and every what? Tongue shall confess that he is Lord. Make that proclamation. Commemoration, examination, and then, of course, the proclamation.